When you think of Australian wine, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, right, it's got to be a big, bold Shiraz. But something really cool is happening in the vineyards down under. So today we're going to dive into the amazing new grapes that are totally reshaping what's in our glasses. And it's all thanks to new tastes and, well, a changing planet.
All right, let's be real for a second. Are you stuck in a bit of a wine rut? Do you find yourself reaching for that same familiar bottle over and over? I mean, it happens to the best of us, right? You find something you love and you just stick with it.
And yeah, a lot of the time, that go-to bottle is one of the big three: Shiraz, Chardonnay, or Cabernet Sauvignon. And look, there's a reason for that. They are the grapes to put Australian wine on the map. They're absolutely fantastic. But what if I told you that's just scratching the surface?
Because right now, there's a whole new chapter being written for Aussie wine. And it's filled with this incredible cast of new characters. So you ready? Let's go meet the stars of this new era.
Okay, so this move towards what people call alternative grapes, it's not just some fad. It's not just a trend. It's actually a really powerful response to two huge forces that are completely shaking up the wine world. So on one hand, you've got us, the people, actually drinking the wine. Our tastes are changing, we're getting more curious, looking for new flavors, maybe something a little lighter. But then, on the other hand, there's something way more urgent going on: climate change. I mean, think about it. Winemakers need grapes that can actually survive and thrive on a continent that's getting hotter and drier. And guess what? A lot of these new grapes are perfectly built for the job.
So let's get into it. Let's meet some of these amazing grapes that are basically built to thrive in these new conditions. You could almost call them the climate warriors of the wine world, and they're really leading the charge into the future.
All right, first up is this absolutely brilliant white grape. Picture the sun-soaked hills of southern Italy. That's where this one comes from. Let me introduce you to Fiano.
Okay, so Fiano has this incredible superpower. It's all about balance. You get these beautiful, rich flavors, think honey, apples, hazelnuts, but the real magic trick here is that it holds on to its amazing, zesty acidity even as it gets super ripe in the hot sun. And why does that matter? Well, that acidity is what gives you a crisp, refreshing white wine. It's the backbone. And trying to get that in a warming climate, that's a huge challenge.
And just so you know, this isn't some tiny little experiment happening in a corner somewhere. Just look at that number: 231 producers. Fiano has, without a doubt, been a massive success story for these Italian imports. We're talking over 200 Aussie wineries getting on board. It's a total star.
Okay, so that was the white. Now for a red that's making just as much noise. This one comes from Sicily, and it's sometimes called the Black Devil. Meet Nero d'Avola. And a lot like Fiano, Nero d'Avola is just a natural fit for Australia. It absolutely loves the heat, and what you get are these beautiful, deep, dark red wines that are just bursting with flavors like blackberry and spice, but, and this is the key, they still have this wonderful freshness. It's also super versatile. You can find easy-drinking, juicy styles or really serious reds that you can put away for a few years.
And yep, you guessed it, the numbers tell the story here too. Over 100 local wineries are now making this stuff. It just proves how perfect these Mediterranean grapes are for where Australian wine is headed.
But, this whole journey of bringing these new grapes to Australia, it hasn't always been a straight line. Actually, it's created some pretty amazing stories, and believe it or not, a few happy accidents along the way.
Okay, you have to hear this story. It's just wild. So picture this. You're a winemaker. You import what you think is this super trendy Spanish grape, Albarino. You plant it all over the country. And then, years later, a DNA test comes back, and surprise, it's not Albarino at all. It's a completely different grape from the French Alps called Sauvignon. Can you imagine? You'd think that'd be a total disaster, right? But the crazy part is, a lot of the winemakers tasted the wine and went, hey, we actually really like this. So they just kept making it. It's such a great example of that spirit of discovery that's happening right now.
And the Italian connection just keeps going. Just look at these two: Barbera and Montepulciano. We're talking nearly 150 producers for each one. That's huge. So with Barbera, you get these really bright, vibrant cherry and fig flavors with that classic high acidity. Then Montepulciano is a bit deeper, more plum and pepper spice with softer tannins. The point is, these aren't just quirky, niche grapes anymore. They are becoming part of the new Aussie mainstream.
Okay, so with all these incredible new wines out there, how do you actually dive in? How do you break out of that rut we talked about and start exploring? Let's break it down and make it super simple.
And hey, while you're out there exploring, you might even find something really, really different. Here's a cool bit of wine trivia for you. Ever heard of a Teinturier grape? See, with most red grapes, the juice inside is actually clear. All the color comes from the skins, but with these rare Teinturier grapes, the pulp and the juice are red too. Alicante Boucher is one of them, and it makes these incredibly deep, intensely colored wines. And yep, you can find it right here in Australia. Just one of the cool things you might discover.
So how do you actually start? The best way is to connect it back to what you already know you love. Seriously, don't be intimidated. If you're a fan of a peppery Shiraz, why not try a spicy Nero d'Avola? If you enjoy a richer Chardonnay, ask for a textural Fiano. You can let your food be your guide, ask for a good pairing, or, you know what, just take a leap of faith on a name you don't recognize. What's the worst that can happen? You learn something new.
So, from these climate warriors to some incredible happy accidents, the world of Australian wine is just more diverse and exciting than it has ever been. Don't get me wrong, the classics will always be there, and they'll always be great. But the future? The future is absolutely bursting with new flavors. So really, the only question left is, what are you going to discover next?